When you wake up every morning, there's a voice inside you that whispers the truth. It tells you that you're not yet who you could be. It tells you that the world doesn't owe you anything and nobody is coming to save you. That voice is raw, it's painful, but it's the most honest thing you'll ever hear. The reality is this: the grind doesn't care about your excuses, your emotions, or your comfort. You must be willing to sweat in silence, bleed in silence, and suffer in silence, because greatness is not born under applause. The champions you admire, the powerful men and women who inspire you, didn't scream their struggles to the world. They turned their pain into power behind closed doors. You have to train when nobody's watching, sacrifice when nobody cares, and build when nobody believes. Stop seeking validation, because the respect you're hungry for will only come after the results are undeniable. People won't clap for your effort. They'll only clap for your victory. So stay disciplined, stay ruthless with your time, and bury the noise. Work hard in silence, because when the day comes, your success will be so loud, it will shake the ground beneath those who doubted you. True strength is built in silence, not in the spotlight. That sentence alone has the power to change the way you see your life, your grind, your sacrifices. Because in a world addicted to attention, to validation, to showing off every small achievement, the truth is that the real giants, the real winners, are not the ones screaming for likes and claps. They are the ones who shut their mouths, lower their heads, and lock themselves in the darkness where nobody claps, where nobody cares, where nobody even notices they exist. That's where strength is born. That's where warriors are built. Silence is uncomfortable. It's heavy. It forces you to face yourself, to stare at your flaws, to realize how far you are from who you want to be. And most people run from that. They crave the spotlight because it distracts them. They want quick validation, little dopamine hit to convince themselves they're progressing. But the truth is, posting your struggle won't make you stronger. Talking about your future won't bring it to life. Dreaming out loud won't make it real. Work does, pain does, discipline does, and all of that thrives in silence, not in noise. When you train in silence, when you hustle when no one is watching, there's a different energy inside you. Every drop of sweat, every hour of sacrifice becomes a secret weapon. You're not wasting your time telling the world what you're about to do. You're already doing it. While they're talking, you're moving. While they're flashing, you're building. While they're begging for claps, you're sharpening the sword that will cut through every obstacle in your path. Silence becomes your shield, and when the time comes, the spotlight won't even be something you chase. It will chase you. True strength is not about flexing in front of people. It's about knowing in your soul that you can handle pain, pressure, and adversity without asking for sympathy. Anybody can pretend to be tough when cameras are on, when people are watching, when applause is guaranteed. But when it's 3 a.m, when nobody's awake, when you're fighting your inner demons in the dark, that's when strength is truly forged. You lift the weight when no one claps. You study when no one texts encouragement. You grind when no one says good job. That's where power lives. That's where unshakable confidence is born. And the beauty of building in silence is that when you finally arrive, the world can't deny you. They can't say you got lucky because they didn't see the countless nights you were working. They can't say you were handed success because they don't know the pain you endured alone. They'll be shocked, confused, maybe even jealous, but they'll have no choice but to respect the results, because results speak louder than noise. You don't need to tell the world who you are. The results will scream it for you. Silence also protects you. It keeps your vision safe. Every time you announce your dreams too early, you expose them to doubt, negativity, and envy. The world is full of people who will try to poison your confidence the moment they hear your plans. But when you move in silence, nobody can attack what they don't see. Your vision grows in secret. Your discipline hardens in the dark. And by the time you reveal it, it's already too strong to be stopped. Silence makes you untouchable. We think about the strongest people you admire, not the ones who seek attention, but the ones who command respect. They didn't get there by begging for recognition. They got there by going to war with themselves in private, by embracing discipline when everyone else was sleeping, partying, or wasting time. They let their work do the talking. They let their victories make the noise. That's why their strength feels undeniable, because it was built in silence, in the places nobody saw and the hours nobody counted. So ask yourself, are you chasing the spotlight, or are you building strength? Are you posting your dreams for approval, or are you silently constructing a future so powerful it speaks for itself? The spotlight is temporary. The claps will fade. The likes will vanish. But the strength you build in silence will never leave you. It will carry you through every storm, every setback, every battle. And when you finally step into the light, you won't even need to speak. The world will hear the echo of your silence, and it will sound like victory. Because true strength is not loud. True strength does not beg. True strength does not explain. True strength is forged in silence. And when the time comes, silence will make the noise for you. Discipline and sacrifice create results that can't be ignored. That is a universal truth, one that separates the average from the extraordinary, the weak from the powerful, the forgotten from the unforgettable. Every great achievement in history has been built on the foundation of discipline and the willingness to sacrifice. Without them, dreams remain just fantasies, hopes remain just wishes, and potential dies without ever being realized. With them, however, mountains are moved, empires are built, and legacies are carved into eternity. Discipline is not about doing what's easy, it's about doing what's necessary. It is the ability to control yourself when your mind screams for comfort, when your body begs for rest, when everything around you tempts you to stop. Discipline is showing up regardless of how you feel. It is waking up early when you'd rather sleep, training when you'd rather relax, focusing when distractions are pulling you apart. Most people rely on motivation, but motivation is fragile. It comes and goes like the wind. Discipline, on the other hand, is a solid rock. Doesn't care if you're tired, sad, unmotivated, or uninspired. It demands consistency, and that consistency is what forges results over time. Sacrifice is its twin, the other side of the same coin. You cannot achieve greatness without giving something up. Comfort must be sacrificed. Time must be sacrificed. Nights out, pleasures, temporary highs, all must be surrendered in the name of something bigger. Sacrifice is the price you pay to own a future that others will never have. The truth is, most people are unwilling to pay it. They want results without cost, rewards without effort, recognition without struggle. But the universe doesn't work like that. Everything you want has a price, and that price is almost always higher than you think. Sacrifice is proof that you are willing to pay it, that you are willing to trade short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment. Together, discipline and sacrifice create results that nobody can deny. When you consistently push through discomfort, when you repeatedly choose progress over pleasure, when you refuse to quit despite the pain, the outcome becomes inevitable. The body transforms, the skills sharpen, the business grows, the life evolves, and when the results arrive, they arrive in a way that silences doubters and commands respect. People cannot ignore what you have become because it stands as living proof of the power of your choices. Think about it. The strongest physiques, the sharpest minds, the most successful careers, they are not accidents. They are built on thousands of moments where someone chose discipline over weakness, sacrifice over indulgence. The athlete who dominates on the field sacrificed nights of fun for years of training. The entrepreneur who built an empire sacrificed weekends, parties, and even relationships to grind when others were resting. The student who rose to the top sacrificed laziness and distraction to study when others wasted time. At the root of every undeniable result, you will find discipline and sacrifice. Always. And here's the secret. Discipline and sacrifice do not just create results. They create a version of you that is unrecognizable to your former self. You begin to see how powerful you truly are. You realize that you don't need motivation, that you don't need applause, that you don't need comfort. You become a weapon forged in fire, unshakable and unstoppable. That transformation is more valuable than any result, because once you become disciplined, once you understand sacrifice, success in any area of life becomes inevitable. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack discipline. They quit too soon, they indulge too often, they surrender to comfort too easily. They want shortcuts, but shortcuts only produce fragile results. The ones who last, the ones who dominate, are the ones who embrace the grind, who accept the pain, who sacrifice with pride. They know the road is hard, but they also know the destination is worth it. So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? What comforts are you ready to give up to build the life you dream of? What discipline are you ready to enforce day after day, even when nobody is watching? Because the truth is, success is not a mystery. It's not luck. It's not magic. It is discipline multiplied by sacrifice, repeated endlessly until the results become undeniable. When the day comes, when the results of your discipline and sacrifice are visible, nobody will be able to look away. They won't be able to dismiss you because your achievements will be carved into reality. They won't be able to ignore you because your success will stand as a monument to your dedication. And in that moment, all the nights you gave up, all the temptations you resisted, all the sacrifices you made will feel worth it. You will know that you built something eternal, something undeniable, something that cannot be ignored. Discipline and sacrifice are not glamorous. They don't give instant gratification. They don't make noise. But they are the secret, the foundation, the key to everything you desire. If you want results that last, results that echo, results that nobody can overlook, then there is no other way. Discipline and sacrifice will take you there, and once you arrive, the world will have no choice but to recognize the power of what you've built. The loudest success is born from the quietest struggles. That truth is one of the most painful yet most powerful realities of life. People often admire the victories, the wealth, the influence, and the respect someone earns, but they rarely see the darkness that built it. They see the spotlight, but never the shadows. They celebrate the triumph, but never acknowledge the quiet nights, the silent tears, the moments of isolation where a person was breaking and rebuilding themselves piece by piece. Success that makes the world stop and listen is always rooted in struggles endured silently, away from recognition, away from applause, away from anyone's understanding. The quiet struggle is where the real transformation happens. It is the fight you have with yourself when you're exhausted but still have work to do. It is the inner war you battle when doubt tells you to quit, when fear whispers that you're not enough, when your mind invents every excuse to make you stop. Nobody is there to clap for you in those moments. Nobody is cheering you on. The quiet struggle is lonely, and that loneliness is where character is forged. If you can endure it, if you can stand strong when nobody believes in you, then when success finally arrives, it will be so loud, it will silence every doubter, every critic, every enemy. Struggles are often the universe's test. They strip you of comfort, they humble you, and they expose who you really are. In the quiet, without external validation, you're forced to rely only on discipline, only on resilience, only on faith in yourself. That is why the quiet struggle feels unbearable for so many, because it demands more than most people are willing to give. It demands consistency when there's no reward, sacrifice when there's no recognition, and perseverance when there's no proof you're even moving forward. But those who endure, those who embrace it, become unstoppable. Their success becomes deafening because it wasn't bought with comfort. It was built with silent suffering. Think about it. When you see someone dominating in their field, whether it's an athlete, an entrepreneur, an artist, or a leader, you're seeing the end result of countless silent battles. The athlete who lifts the trophy endured mornings of pain, years of training, injuries, doubts, and sweat that nobody saw. The entrepreneur who builds an empire stayed awake on nights when the world was sleeping, carried debt, faced rejection, sacrificed comfort, and lived with anxiety in silence while others judged. The artist who inspires millions created in obscurity, doubting themselves, struggling with failure, and battling self-doubt long before anyone cared. Success always looks loud because struggle was lived quietly. The reason quiet struggles produce the loudest success is simple. They build depth. They build authenticity. You don't just arrive at success, you earn it in the dark. So when the world finally sees it, the power behind it is undeniable. It's not surface level. It's not fake. It's rooted in pain, sacrifice, and perseverance. And that's why it shakes people. That's why it inspires. That's why it echoes louder than any words ever could. But here's what most people miss. The quiet struggle isn't punishment. It's preparation. It prepares you to carry success when it comes. Without the struggle, success would destroy you. Without the battles, you wouldn't appreciate the victory. Without the discipline forged in silence, you wouldn't be able to sustain the greatness once you reach it. Struggles are the sharpening stone that makes you strong enough to handle the weight of success. That's why the process feels brutal. It's supposed to. Greatness cannot be built without resistance. And when you finally break through, when the silent work turns into visible results, the noise will be overwhelming. People will talk about you, praise you, criticize you, envy you, admire you. but they will not be able to ignore you. Your success will be so loud it will drown out every insult, every doubt, every moment you thought you couldn't go on. That's the reward of the quiet struggle. A victory so undeniable, it echoes long after you're gone. So the next time you find yourself in the quiet, struggling when nobody sees, remember this truth. You are building something that one day will be impossible to ignore. Your tears are not wasted. Your sacrifices are not wasted. Your long nights, your lonely mornings, your relentless grind in the shadows, they are creating a foundation so strong that when you rise, nothing will be able to shake you. The louder the success, the deeper the silence that built it. The world only claps for results, but it is the silent battles that make those results possible. Embrace them, endure them, because the loudest success, the kind that echoes through generations, the kind that inspires millions, is always born from the quietest, loneliest, most brutal struggles. And when your moment arrives, you won't even need to speak. Your success will roar for you. And when it's all said and done, when the battles in silence finally pay off, you will look back and realize every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every tear you shed in the dark was worth it. You will understand that the pain you endured in private was the seed that grew into your public triumph. The world will only see the victory, but you will know the price you paid. That's what makes success so powerful. It's not just about what you gain, but about who you became in the process. So stop chasing recognition. Stop craving validation. Stop announcing your every move. Nobody needs to hear what you're working on. Nobody needs to understand your struggle, because when you're disciplined, when you sacrifice, when you embrace the quiet battles, the results will be so loud, they'll drown out every doubt and silence every critic. The spotlight will come to you, not because you begged for it, but because you built something undeniable. Stay patient, stay ruthless, and keep grinding in silence, because one day your success will roar so loud the world won't just notice, it won't ever forget. That is the legacy of silent struggle, an echo of victory that cannot be ignored.